Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about UFOs because the United States government is finally starting to take it a little bit more seriously. They're expanding the conversation around UFOs, which have obviously been a phenomena that people have known about for decades, right? Through real-world reports and of course things like science fiction movies and stuff like that, we've all been pretty much really conditioned with the ideas of UFOs. We pretty much all know what this means. It's a global phenomena at this point, and people have been asking questions about UFOs for a long time now, right? And the population, at least the general population, is left in the dark about a lot of the classified information surrounding UFOs. You know, governments, they see this kind of stuff all the time. They take reports on it all the time. They have videos of this kind of stuff happening and whatnot, and honestly, they can't really explain a lot of it. In fact, from what I just read, the United States, out of 144 of the UFO sightings that they just addressed, could not find an explanation for 143 of them. But if you didn't know, just today there was the first public hearing in Congress about UFOs in more than 50 years. There was a lot of conversation about it, and honestly, there's a lot to talk about with this whole thing because it is a pretty cool thing to talk about. It's a cool phenomena, and plus, like, with me personally, I'm really invested in aliens and like the possibility of life existing on other planets, and of course, even them monitoring and watching us here on Earth. It's a really cool thing to kind of think about. It's a really cool concept to kind of think about. Obviously, I do believe in aliens. I do believe in UFOs, and I kind of just want to talk about that today. We all love to relax and have a great time, and Vance Global is here to give you the best relaxer, a Vance CBD cigarette. Vance Global creates high-quality products including THC-O and Delta-8 gummies, CBD, THC-O and Delta-8 cigarettes, and more. We've all heard about the medical benefits of CBD, and Vance Global is your #1 spot to get right. I tried the gummies and I was pleasantly surprised at how good they tasted compared to other gummies that I've had. And on top of that, it didn't leave me with a foggy head or any negative side effects. I was able to get right back to doing my work as usual, and I had a better time doing it, to be honest. Not only that, but Vance Global had my package at my door super quick. The lab tests are public for you to view for full transparency, and Vance Global serves an estimated 40,000 products to customers every day. Don't wait around though. If you go to the link on the screen or in the description, you can use my code Optimus for 20% off your order. Not only can you start feeling better, but you can do so at a great price. Make sure to use code Optimus for 20% off your order. Thanks to Vance Global for sponsoring this video. A pair of top defense intelligence officials on Tuesday laid out the federal government's effort to collect data about unidentified aerial phenomena at the first public hearing Congress has held on UFOs in more than 50 years. The Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence, Scott W. Bray, said that since the release last year of a report by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, a task force responsible for studying the phenomena said its database has grown to, quote, approximately 400 reports of unidentifiable objects. Bray said they've received a rise in reports because people have become more comfortable in sharing these encounters seen in the sky. Quote, the stigma has been reduced, Bray said. So basically, from what I'm understanding here, there's like an increase in the amount of reports of UFOs and whatnot, and it's leading to this database that's been started last year to expand. And the government's trying to find explanations for these UFOs, or as they call them, unidentified aerial phenomena, so they can get some better answers and whatnot for what's going on. Now, of course, there's a lot of leading conspiracies and like thoughts on what could be happening. Now, the logical answer for a lot of these is actually human-made craft. A lot of the time, these UFOs can be explained away as things such as weather balloons, maybe like some sort of military aircraft or something like that, right? Something that we created and put in the air that, you know, maybe they just didn't have a good reading on or something like that, or they didn't know the location of and things happen. But of course, there's also the ones that happen that people cannot explain, and these are the ones that I'm really interested in, right? And I know this is the ones that everyone's pretty much really interested in. There is, of course, UFOs and stuff that we have yet to be able to explain, and these are the cool ones because, you know, these are the ones that we always kind of think are like, oh, this could be aliens. Many of those new reports are actually historic reports that were narrative-based, Bray said. The report released in June 2021 said that the US government couldn't explain 143 of the 144 cases of UAP or unexplained aerial phenomena reported by military planes between 2004 and 2021. Bray said that since the early 2000s, the US has seen a, quote, increasing number of unauthorized or unidentified aircraft or objects in military-controlled training areas or other designated airspace. Reports of sightings are frequent and continuing, said Bray, who explained that there has been an increase not only because of the effort to destigmatize reporting them, but also because there's been an increase in unmanned aerial systems, clutter, Mylar balloons, air trash, and improvements in the capabilities of sensors in U.S. airspace. Some objects cannot be properly identified, officials said. Bray, for example, played a video during the hearing taken from an airborne pilot's cockpit operating in a U.S. Navy training range that showed a spherical object fly past the aircraft. Now, the reasoning and the rationale for a lot of people here is like, this can't be a military aircraft because, first off, we don't really fly anything that's spherical. That just sounds like alien technology. Obviously, most of our planes are, well, plane-shaped, I guess is the best way to put it. So, also, if it was a military craft, you would think that since it was over like military airspace, that it would be known, right? They would know what it is, they'd know where it's coming from, who's flying it, everything, basically. And considering the fact that they don't have an explanation for it, this is one of many instances that leads people to believe that aliens are flying UFOs here around on Earth and basically, you know, monitoring us, monitoring our evolution, our technology, stuff like that. Now, once again, a lot of this stuff can be explained as like weather balloons or like, you know, debris and junk in the air, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, man, there's some of these where like the fact that there's no explanation is kind of creepy because like when you see the details of what's going on, you're like, yeah, that just sounds like alien technology. Representative Andre Carson, Democrat from Indiana, chairman of the House Intelligence, Counterterrorism, Counterintelligence, and Counterproliferation Subcommittee, said in his opening remarks that the hearing Tuesday was meant to bring this government effort, quote, out of the shadows. Quote, the stigma associated with UAPs has gotten in the way of good intelligence analysis, Carson said, pilots avoiding reporting or were laughed at when they did. Department of Defense officials relegated the issue to the backroom or swept it under the rug entirely, fearful of a skeptical national security community. Today, we know better. UAPs are unexplained, it's true, but they are real, they need to be investigated, and many threats they pose need to be mitigated. Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff, Democrat from California, said in his remarks that the reports of these objects, quote, need to be understood as a national security matter. There is something here measurable by multiple instruments, and yet it seems to move in directions that are inconsistent with what we know of physics or science more broadly, said Schiff, who said that these reports, quote, pose questions of tremendous interest. The committee will move to a closed session with the two defense officials on UAPs on Tuesday afternoon. So as of me recording this video, they're pretty much, I would think, having this closed session that the article here refers. This is probably where like the juicy good information is getting shared, right? Like not with the public. This is like the classified meeting and everything, right? At the end of the day, man, yeah, it is kind of a national security matter because like if these really are aliens and they're monitoring us, like their technology is so far advanced compared to what we have that they could be a legitimate threat to our species, right? And that's kind of the hot potato with dealing with aliens in the first place. Like if they have the technology to come to our planet and monitor us like we're some sort of zoo animals, they could do a whole hell of a lot worse. And so yeah, I do think the government should be investigating these, and even if it turns out that it's not alien life, at least we came to the bottom of it and we have an answer and we know what's going on. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below, and until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about UFOs and signing out.